Welcome back to 5 and 5, where our NFL betting expert Raheem Palmer gives out 5 against the spread picks in 5 minutes. And I, Amanda Rose, NFL betting amateur, give out 1 pick. And remember, 5 picks is what you need for this week's entry into DraftKings Sportsbook's Millionaire Pick'em contest. So Raheem, how are you feeling? And how do you like my terrible new hat?
I love your new hat. It looks great. You're repping properly. I feel a little down though. I was 2-3 last week. We're 5 and 5 on the year, which means that we got to pick up the pace and turn this thing on up. So let's get to the winners.
For those who didn't watch last week, I bet against Raheem for the 2nd week in a row and lost. So as punishment, I'm forced to wear the gear of Raheem's favorite team, who I, as any native Pennsylvanian, should absolutely detest, including Raheem, who lives in Philadelphia. Raheem, your picks went 2-3 in week 2. Pittsburgh laid an egg, the Colts somehow covered, and your Cowboys look better than you expected? Like, what is tripping you up most right now?
The Cowboys, honestly, they probably shouldn't have won that game. The Chargers struggled in the red zone. Pittsburgh, they just stink, and I got that dead wrong. And then, of course, the Rams, they didn't do what they were supposed to do last week. They had the lead. They were up by 2 scores, and then they kind of blew it for me. But we're going to get back on track this week because y'all know how it's going down. We're going to go with the Miami Dolphins plus 3.5. I know they're coming off that 35-point loss to the Buffalo Bills, but the Bills have really had their number. They scored 87 points in 2 games last year, and they're coming off a 35-0 loss. So we're going to go back to the well again. I mean, I think I love the Miami Dolphins in this spot. According to our BetSlash database, since 2003, teams who lose by 35 points or more are 24, 15, and 4. That's 61.5% against the spread. Overall, I think this number is a little bit high. They're overvaluing the loss of Tua, and I don't really have a ton of respect for this Raiders team who beat a bad Steelers team, and they were the beneficiary of 2 turnovers. Lamar Jackson fumbles in week 1 against the Baltimore Ravens. I think the Dolphins have a pretty good defense, and they can limit the Raiders in this spot. So let's take the points. We're going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs minus 6.5. I think you're getting a bargain on this game because of their 36-35 loss to the Baltimore Ravens on primetime last week. If they were to close out the Baltimore Ravens, we'd see this line of upwards of 7.5. So if you get under a touchdown, I really like it. I know the Chiefs haven't really brought that paper in lately. They're just 1-11-1 in the last 13 games against the spread. But they're playing this Chargers team who has really, really, really struggled in the red zone. I mean, in their 10 red zone attempts, they've scored just 3 touchdowns this year. They've had problems with penalties. This Chiefs team is still 3rd in points per game, 1st in EPA per play, and 3rd in offensive success rate. So you're going to need to put up 40 points or so against Patrick Mahomes. And I think the Chiefs get it done against the Chargers at home and cover the spread. We're going to go with the Los Angeles Rams plus 1.5. We're completely fading the public here. I have one big stat for this game. Did you know that opposing NFL offenses are passing against the Bucs 77% of the time? They're calling run plays on just 35 plays this season. There's a clear method of beating this team, and it's through the air. And the Rams with Matthew Stafford, who's an upgrade over Jared Goff, is fully equipped to take advantage of this secondary that's missing Sean Murphy-Bunting, and it's just banged up. I mean, this Rams team is 2nd in dropback EPA per play. They're facing the Bucs team, which is 21st in passing success rate. I think the wrong team is favored in this matchup, so take the Rams plus 1.5.
All right, Raheem, I'm going to cut you off there, and I'm going to play devil's advocate. The Rams are playing against Tom Brady, okay? Tom Brady, who has 655 passing yards and 9 touchdowns in 2 games. And that's it. That's my entire point. Tom Brady.
I love Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady is one of the greatest of all time. But he did just play the Cowboys, which you hate, and he played the Atlanta Falcons. And the Atlanta Falcons kept it close until Matt Ryan decided to throw 2 pick sixes on back-to-back plays. When's the last time you've seen a pick 6 on back-to-back plays by the same exact player? Come on.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. And because of that, I think it's time to go to our next pick.
We're going to go with the Denver Broncos minus 10.5. This Broncos team has one of the best home field advantages in the NFL. They're playing at altitude. I know home field is drastically reduced these days. It's worth about a point, if that. But this Jets team is a mess, to say the least. They're scoring just 10.5 points per game. They're ranking 30th in offensive success rate. This Jets team, they took some money because the total was just 41. So 10.5 points is a lot. But they're facing an uphill battle. You got a rookie quarterback in Zach Wilson against a Vic Fangio-led defense. This Broncos defense is top 10 in success rate and EPA per play. Teddy Bridgewater is a whopping 37-14 against the spread. That's 72%. This Broncos defense should be able to hold this Jets team to almost nothing. And Bridgewater is going to do enough to get us on the number. So we're going to take the Broncos here. We're going to go with the Green Bay Packers plus 3.5. Look, last week, the 49ers shouldn't have won that game. I mean, the Eagles absolutely dominated that game in yards per play, yards per point. Every statistical category they dominated in the first half. They had missed opportunities. Look, this 49ers team is absolutely banged up. Jason Verrett is one of the top corners. He tore his ACL in week 1. Emmanuel Mosley has been dealing with a knee injury. They got Josh Norman out there. Josh Norman is not the same guy we saw in Carolina. This defense is really, really banged up. And if you got a banged up defense going against Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, I'm going with Aaron Rodgers. So we're going to take the plus 3.5 with the Packers, and y'all know how it's going down.
All right, Raheem, you realize this is the third week in a row that you picked the Packers as a best bet.
I realized that. I mean, we're 1-1 thus far. I had a bad read on that Saints game in week 1, but I think they're going against the 49ers team who's really banged up on the defensive end, and I think they go out there and probably win this game outright.
All right, so just to recap, Raheem likes the Green Bay Packers plus 3.5 at San Fran 49ers, Denver Broncos minus 10.5 versus New York Jets, Los Angeles Rams plus 1.5 versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Kansas City Chiefs minus 6.5 versus Los Angeles Chargers, and Miami Dolphins plus 3.5 at the Las Vegas Raiders. And I hate to do this since I've lost 2 weeks in a row, but I'm fading your Rams bet for Amanda's pick. All right, I'm taking Tom Brady and Gronk minus 1.5. That's all I need, those 2 players, but I'll take their whole team since it gives me a better edge. You ready to go up against me again?
I'm ready. What's the bet this time? What are you going to wear? Another Cowboys hat again?
All right. So if I lose, I'm nervous to see what additional Cowboy merch our producer Ryan will find for us. It's every time I check the mail, there's more Cowboy stuff in there. But so please give this video a thumbs up. Check out DraftKings Sportsbook's 2021 Championship Series and enter their Pro Football Millionaire Pick'em. That's going to do it for 5 and 5. I'm Amanda Rose. He's Raheem Palmer. We'll be back next Thursday for week 4.